becomes a hunter. Best to stay out of her sight.
Get on the floor!
People that go out of their way to inflict pain on others do so because they like it.
A wealthy housewife gives up privilege to lead her own cult of death.
Sometimes monsters don't breathe fire.
I don't care what you want.
A troubled schoolgirl finds her passion on the streets of London.
It was almost a footballer kicking a penalty. She kicked his friend's head with such ferocity.
And a chance meeting ignites a waitress's taste for murder.
Never look a gift horse in the mouth.
What he doesn't know, he's just picked up the devil and the devil's mistress.
Hey.
These deadly women discover an inner hunger, a growing desire for hunting humans. In the late 1960s, in Scottsdale, Arizona, Suzanne Barnes is living the good life, happily married, with a teenage son, and she's popular with his friends.
Haven't seen you around here in a while.
Suzanne lived a privileged life. Her husband was rich. She fit the type where, she'd play tennis in the afternoon.
But this beautiful life has ugly secrets.
Let's go. Oh, man, I'd rather stay here.
Fine.
She would be what you would call, in a current term, a cougar. She was going out with her son's high school classmates.
You've been.
Suzanne isn't just dabbling with the odd boy toy. She is working her way through the neighborhood.
She said she made love with 150 of her son's classmates. Just going through them one after another.
Her sexual conquests are fueled by powerful mind-bending drugs.
She started doing acid, peyote, hash, marijuana. The first time she took LSD, she woke up in the morning and the house was absolutely painted with triangles, signed Suzanne. And then she felt her head and she said, my head, there's a hole in my head. And all the vibes, all the electricity in the house was going through this hole in her head.
But the drugs alone aren't causing her delusions. Suzanne is also mentally ill.
Suzanne was having visual hallucinations. This is a very, very serious symptom. Probably of schizophrenia, which is a thought disorder. It is the most serious mental illness known to mankind.
It's a lethal cocktail, pushing Suzanne to the brink.
Hallucinogenic drugs are the absolute worst thing someone with a severe mental illness can take. It would only make it worse.
The drugs and the sex shatter her marriage, but Suzanne doesn't care. She finds her perfect lover, James Michael Carson, who becomes her new husband.
They both describe meeting as just, instant electric attraction.
I'm gonna take you to my lair.
From that very moment that they met, they were just joined like magnets.
You're 878 and an attacking chimpanzee.
The duo has a lot in common. They believe in reincarnation, spiritual fantasies, and they both suffer from mental illness.
It's Michael.
My father had always been very interested in very radical religious beliefs, and those interests kind of became more and more extreme.
Michael Carson's daughter, Jen, recalls the couple's manic union.
It was the most bizarre environment you could imagine. It was like dropping through the rabbit hole. You have two individuals who both have mental health needs, and now they're using very, very heavy drugs.
Suzanne would have these visions, and she thought she was a witch. She thought she was going crazy.
Michael, I need you. Michael, I'm having visions. Terrifying visions.
And Michael said, no, dear, you're not having delusions. You're having religious visions. You're a prophet. You're a yogi. You're not a witch.
I am.
Tell me what you see.
I see a war.
On drugs and unstable, they become paranoid about witchcraft and determined to stamp it out.
Michael feared witchcraft. He saw witchcraft everywhere, people that tried to control your mind through psychic behavior. Because Suzanne and Michael were deluded and half crazed on drugs, they created their own cult.
Every cult needs its followers. Their first is 23-year-old Karen Barnes.
She was kind of interested in that, you know, kind of eclectic scene, and she was very much a bohemian girl. When Susan and Michael entered her life, I think she found them fascinating.
Living with people who are mentally ill and taking hallucinogenics is probably not the safest decision a person can make. Her flatmates, she found out, were very, very dangerous.
San Francisco, California, 1981. After years of mental illness and drug addiction, Suzanne and Michael Carson are deluded. They cast themselves as cult leaders, but they only have one disciple, 23-year-old Karen Barnes.
When Suzanne and Michael came along and offered her their type of cult, she was fascinated by it.
It is a dangerous place to be for the young woman.
She's a witch, you know.
No, she's not a witch. The trouble started when Michael became very attracted to this young disciple of theirs. Suzanne saw this as a threat, and she became incredibly jealous.
Suzanne doesn't wish to share her man, and she has the perfect excuse to get rid of her rival.
Suzanne said, "We have to kill the witch. Michael, you have to kill Karen."
In their twisted world, such an outrageous request is taken seriously. Michael will do anything to please Suzanne. So on March 7th, 1981, he rids the world of a witch.
He killed her as she lay on the floor.
Susan and Michael portrayed Karen as a witch, as a woman who was trying to break up a marriage. None of those things were true. This was a nice girl from Georgia, you know.
It is a brutal death in the kitchen of a suburban home.
No one should go through what she went through. She was a beautiful, delightful 23-year-old girl.
They're probably a little bit paranoid. They think the world is dangerous, and with their grandiose ideas, it was up to them to clean up the world.
The couple goes on the run.
They returned to the dope regions of Northern California, where they found jobs as caretakers of a marijuana plantation. One of the owners of this plantation was Clark Stevens, who had come up from Los Angeles.
Working on an illegal marijuana plantation is the perfect job for drug addicts. But when owner Clark Stevens comes to visit, things get complicated.
Michael was the security guard at the plantation. Clark Stevens arrived, and Michael came out of the trailer and said, "Nobody's supposed to be here today, and you're not welcome."
In the couple's deluded world, even their boss is a threat, and they refuse to let him on to his own property.
Michael, it's your job to get him out of here.
Tell that ugly witch to open the damn gate.
No, no!
Suzanne felt slighted or insulted by a man, so she orders Mike to kill him. That's grandiosity. Grandiosity is a common element of severe mental illness. I can do anything because I am entitled to. And they believe this. Nothing can stop them.
The couple hit the road again, but this time, their war against witchcraft has turned into a war against anyone who slights them. Even an innocent, like 30-year-old John Hillier, who offers them a lift in January 1983, can be a target.
We're gonna have to kill him.
Here we're coming.
As soon as they got into the pickup truck with Hillier, there were problems. His leg, according to Suzanne, touched her leg. That is a death sentence. Michael pulls out the gun, but hesitates.
Wait, what the hell are you doing?
Immediately, John grabs the gun, and they're wrestling with the gun. They come to a screeching stop.
John jumped out to run for his life. And Susan and Michael proceeded to both stab and shoot him on the side of the road in full view of commuters driving by.
Get in!
And John died on the side of the road.
I think Suzanne was the ringleader of this murder team. Michael went along with everything she wanted. He fed into her delusions, and he made her feel very, very special.
But this time, they've made a fatal mistake. With so many witnesses, police are led straight to them. But there will be one more twist to their deluded lives.
Susan and Michael, you're admitting to murdering Karen Barnes, Clark Stevens, and John Heller. What the public want to know is, why? Why did you do it?
Suzanne and Michael promise to confess all at a public press conference and try and explain away their murder spree as a war on witchcraft.
We rid the world of evil. Witches. People with dark forces.
They did talk about the murders, and they laid down this case that they were being spiritually attacked and they had to defend themselves and they were called to kill witches and, you know, their whole rationale.
Because of their mental illness. They believed everything that they said, and they wanted the world to know it.
So how did you kill Karen Barnes?
I entered Karen with a frying pan and she slept on the kitchen floor with a pillow.
On June 4th, 1984, Suzanne and Michael Carson are found guilty of the first-degree murder of Karen Barnes. Later, they are found guilty of the murders of Clark Stevens and John Hillier. They are sentenced to a total of 75 years to life.
Michael and Susan, I think, were like dynamite in a match. You know, without the other, would this have occurred? I don't know.
Jen Carson has come to terms with the fact her father is a killer. It wasn't anything she could imagine as a young child, but drugs and mental illness can destroy lives.
I would describe my father as brilliant, handsome, charming, damaged, misguided, and soulless.
Suzanne Carson's mental illness first manifests when she becomes a sexual predator and evolves into a drug-crazed witch hunt with a man who will do her bidding.
I think that Susan is intelligent and crazy and evil.
After 30 years behind bars, it seems Suzanne's thinking is no clearer.
You absolutely can't have rehabilitation when there is absolutely no remorse. You know, neither of these people feel any remorse whatsoever. They speak about it in a way that, you know, almost glamorizes it, you know, and Susan has bragged about being friends with the Manson girls in prison. There doesn't seem to be any sign whatsoever that they would come out changed in any way.
A teenage girl needs time out for fun.
The most shocking part of this crime was that such a young person could become involved.
And what better way than with a cell phone?
Chelsea, you are not to be filming in the school. You have been told.
For a young filmmaker, the attraction is on the streets.
The gang that she fell in with became her family.
Her home videos will shock the city of London. In 1997, South London, England. 7-year-old Chelsea O'Mahony has a challenging start to life. Her mother is addicted to heroin and struggling to cope.
I'm hungry.
It's well documented that heroin-addicted mothers have great difficulties in bonding and raising their children. Chelsea pretty much brought herself up. Although her mum did care for her on some emotional level, she had no sense of home.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Chelsea is fostered out to a relative.
Happy birthday to you.
Now make a wish, Chelsea.
A stable home for the little girl lost.
Well, now you blow out the candles, darling.
An aunt did intervene at one stage. Chelsea went to live with her, and social workers were very hopeful that that would work out.
I don't want you to go out. It's a school night. I don't care what you want.
But as Chelsea grows, she becomes more difficult to handle.
Chelsea, you can't. I can, and you can't stop me.
Chelsea would often seem secretive, withdrawn, and prone to acts of ill temper.
Are you all right?
I can't do it anymore.
Her aunt is unable to deal with her.
Sadly, over the course of a few years, it became clear that it was a placement that would fail.
And then she went into foster care, where she really wasn't home very much. She was out running the streets.
By 2004, Chelsea, now 14, has seen 3 different homes. Finally, she finds a family unit, a street gang.
What's that?
They'd spend time together, they'd hang out, fool around. Anything to try and pass the time and trying to stave off boredom.
The gang that she fell in with became her family.
Chelsea likes their peculiar form of fun, violence. Menace with a technological twist. A growing trend called happy slapping.
Happy slapping started in 2004. It was starting the playgrounds with young people, intimidating, bullying, slapping people in the face.
It's thrilling for the offenders to look back at the video, especially for teenage offenders. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel powerful. They laugh, they enjoy it. They think they're somebody.
But the gang's home videos will take a tragic twist in the early hours of October 30th, 2004. The gang is out on an all-nighter.
The first attack was on David Dobson. He was leaving work at a theatre. He was asked what the time was, which was the code for the gang to begin their attack.
Hey, do you have time? It's about 2 o'clock.
At least one member, and maybe more, of the gang knocked Mr. Dobson to the ground.
As usual, Chelsea is the morbid filmmaker, capturing the violence purely for entertainment.
Theft never really seemed to be the prime motivator. It was more opportunistic if there was something to steal, but the prime motivator seemed to be just the enjoyment of doing it. I've never investigated an attack where the suspects have walked off in such a nonchalant manner.
Perhaps they didn't want to draw attention to themselves by running. But it also may have been motivated by, we don't even have to run from what we're doing. We're entitled to do this.
David Dobson is left bruised and bleeding, but Chelsea's gang is just getting started.
There was a sudden spate of 4 attacks in 10 minutes, all quite close to each other.
They're about to try their hand at a snuff film. After years of loneliness and foster care, 14-year-old Chelsea O'Mahony finds a family, her street gang in South London, England. They like to play happy slapping for fun.
The motivation just simply seemed to be this group of people enjoying dominating others.
October 2004. They go on an all-nighter, attacking anyone who crosses their path. Chelsea records every sickening second on her phone.
Clearly, violence was a bond between these individuals. They could sit together, they could enjoy what they'd done, they could enjoy that sense of power, that sense of chaos, that pain that they'd brought to people, over and over again.
The night will soon turn from brutal to deadly. Local bar manager David Morley and his friend Alistair White relax after work, totally unaware they are in the wrong place at the wrong time.
How the gang came across them was entirely random. They literally just walked into their path. They pulled Alistair and David off the bench and began to kick them repeatedly and savagely.
A cowardly attack. They certainly didn't pick on groups of people who would be in a position to fight back and overpower them.
Both men were beaten, but ultimately the focus of the attack became David Morley.
When the gang attacked David Morley, they were smiling and laughing because for them it was fun.
Most notably and most shockingly was the fact that as the attack seemed to be over, Chelsea O'Mahony took it upon herself to run back.
Chelsea wants one more shot, but not with her camera.
Alistair said it was almost as if he was watching a footballer kicking a penalty. She kicked his friend's head with such ferocity.
One blow to the head, and that was all it took.
David Morley was taken to hospital where he was operated upon, but sadly all efforts were in vain and he lost his life.
The gang keeps hunting, unaware they have just committed murder.
When they selected their next targets, less than 100 meters away, they really didn't care.
I think it gave the gang a sense of power. They were so in control of the situation that they didn't need to run. They didn't expect even to be captured.
Their fifth attack will be their undoing. Unbeknownst to the gang, the filmmakers are being filmed by a security camera.
The CCTV was absolutely pivotal to the investigation and prosecution. Without that, we could never have linked the group together.
The video clearly shows Chelsea holding her arm aloft with the phone so she could tape every detail of the attack.
The brutal beating of Wayne Miller is captured in horrifying detail.
At one point, one of the attackers leans up against the wall so he can balance and jump on Wayne Miller using both feet. It really is quite a shocking attack.
It is possible for someone to rob another person without hurting them. Chelsea and her gang chose to hurt these people. There was no reason for it other than they wanted to hurt them.
Within days, the young gang is arrested, clearly identified by the security cameras. And the star performer is 14-year-old Chelsea.
The most shocking part of this crime for me was Chelsea's age, that such a young person could become involved with a group of others and then just randomly attack people for their own enjoyment. It's beyond belief.
In January 2006, Chelsea O'Mahony is convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 8 years. The older gang members receive 12.
Chelsea is remarkable in that she's not remarkable at all. She looks like an average, pretty 14-year-old girl. No one could suspect from outward appearance that this was also a killer.
This pretty young girl turned into a killer when her gang went looking for kicks.
It's easier for them in a group, and we see that a lot when people are hunting humans.
Some experts believe Chelsea's crimes are seeded in a rebellious childhood, lacking parental control.
It's very important for us all to learn that somebody so young does have the ability and the capacity. As long as children are allowed to be trapped in deprivation, they will fall into gang life all too often, and unfortunately, acts of violence just are part of that territory. Gang culture is a serious and growing problem.
Chelsea's gang days are hopefully over, because in 2010, she is released back into the community as a 21-year-old.
Hopefully what happened was a one-time thing, and she's learned and grown from it. She's living in society with other people. I hope she got lots of therapy in prison.
She is free. We can only hope that she looks back and doesn't recognize the violent child that she once was.
A lone woman can be dangerous.
She is heartless and cold to the core.
When she finds company,
someone who had such a callous disregard for human life,
she can be deadly.
This was a slow kill. She enjoyed it.
1980, Los Angeles, California. In yet another dive bar, beer isn't the only attraction. 24-year-old Pamela Perillo is trying to make a living out of her personal assets.
Can I get the change? Yeah? Okay, thanks.
All sorts of people come through the bar, but she strikes up a particular friendship with James and Linda Brittle.
The three of them seemed like they were bound at the hip. I never really did understand what that relationship was all about.
It may be a strange threesome, but Pamela wants to belong to someone.
Pamela's mother died when she was 10. That's a terribly vulnerable age for a child to lose their mother.
She ended up in foster homes, and she started using drugs at the age of 11.
The trio hit the road and make their way to Texas, which is bad luck for Good Samaritan Bob Banks, who offers them a lift.
Hey.
Hey, where you heading?
North?
You got a place to stay?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm in the middle of moving house, so you guys help me move. I'll give you a place to stay and I'll sling you some cash.
Yeah, sounds like a fine idea.
Along comes this lovely gentleman, Bob Banks, who everybody just said was, you know, one of the best people they knew. But Bob doesn't know. He's just picked up the devil and the devil's mistress.
As their friendship grows, Pamela and James admire toughness in each other.
Brittle was a bad guy from a violent crime standpoint.
Here's a guy that everybody was afraid of. This guy was a real animal.
Pamela was attracted to bad boys because she was a bad girl.
Bob displays typical Texan hospitality, and the extra hands to help him move are welcome.
Who's this?
Bob has one other volunteer, his close friend, Bob Skeens.
Bob Skeen, he knows Bob Banks really well. Knows that he's got a big heart, so the three people that are there, he doesn't suspect anything. He just thinks Bob's helping somebody out, and they're helping him.
Seemed like pretty decent guys. Their biggest mistake was having a heart to help somebody reach out, and it backfired.
Amongst Bob's possessions, the house guests find guns. That gets them thinking they can walk away with more than bed and breakfast.
Never look a gift horse in the mouth.
Thought about it, they planned it, they had made the decision they were going to do it.
The pair gets their chance on the morning of February 24th, 1980, when their hosts return with coffee. But Pamela and James will be working alone because Linda decides she wants no part of it.
Pam and her partner, they decide, you know what? Bob's got guns in the house. You know what? We're gonna surprise him. This is our opportunity to take what we want.
Robbing a kind soul would be bad enough, but Pamela and James are building up to something much worse.
They want their money, of course, and they want the guns, and they want anything else they can have, including, perhaps, their lives.
In Houston, Texas, 1980, complete strangers give shelter and food to Pamela Perillo and James Brittle. But this heartless duo won't be returning any favors.
I think Pamela wanted to impress James with how tough she could be. And she did.
On the morning of February 24th, Bob Banks and his friend, Bob Skeens, come back with coffee and donuts for their house guests.
Get on the floor!
Get down the floor now!
Don't shoot us! Get on the floor! Please don't shoot us!
Very fun.
Get on the
Bob can't believe it. You know, I've given you my home, basically. So what happens? He gets hit with the gun, the butt end of the gun. And then he really believes it.
Stay on the floor.
Don't you move!
Get your wallets out.
Get him out! Let's see him! Don't you move!
Pam, she could have left and left them alive.
What are you doing this for?
But she didn't.
It becomes clear robbery isn't their only motive. The victims are bound and put in different rooms.
Big, strong man.
Stand up.
No. Why are you still talking? Shut up! Off you go. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Up you go, you sick fraud.
Now they can steal anything they want and make an escape.
What you gonna do? Where you going?
But they don't.
James and Pam put a rope around his neck. James gets on one end, Pam gets on the other. They have a tug of war, right? But this man's life is in the center of it.
People don't die easily. During that time, your victim is going to struggle. The victim would be aware of what's happening and would ultimately die in the midst of that terror and panic.
And all the thoughts that go through your mind about the people that you love and the fact that this is your last day on earth, I mean, it's so cruel.
In the next room, Bob Skeens is helpless to save his friend or himself.
To let another person linger, wondering if he was going to be killed, it's just unbelievable. I mean, you wouldn't do that to an animal.
He's not breathing.
It is an act that unites the killers.
By each one of them, Pam and James, holding an end of a rope and pulling, they were bonded forever in murder.
But the sadistic communion doesn't satisfy their appetite.
I'm hungry.
It gives them one. They take a coffee break.
For some people, murder works up quite an appetite, and it certainly did for James and Pam. I think the fact that Pam could kill someone and then go enjoy coffee and donuts speaks to her cold-heartedness.
The morbid coffee break goes on for more than half an hour.
They had those coffee and donuts. And then what'd they do? They got back to killing.
No, please. Please. You don't have to do this.
As they extinguished one kind soul, they extinguish another.
Pam, she could have had some empathy, but she didn't. Why? Because she enjoyed killing. That's why.
Pamela and James could have killed the two Bobs quickly with the guns they had. They chose to slowly choke the life out of them by each one of them holding the end of a rope around Bob's neck. That is sadistic.
The murders are made even more senseless by the meager booty.
For what? A camera and some other pawnable items, or even $800 in cash. There's just no rhyme or reason to it.
What stands out to me most in this murder, the brutality. The brutality that they did not have to commit. They had to take it to the next level and commit murder. The seed of evil is in both of these people.
Treat me like
But in Pamela's crazy world, even bonds formed by murder break.
What are you gonna do about it?
There's a lot I can do.
Soon she has a falling out with James.
Pamela got into an argument at a motel that she was staying at with Mr. Brittle.
The revenge she chooses incriminates herself, but Pamela doesn't seem to care.
What's bizarre about this is that Pam does the unthinkable. She turns herself in.
He tied a rope around his neck,
She walked into a police station
and I pulled on the other.
and confessed to the killings that had taken place for the purpose of striking back at Mr. Brittle for the argument they'd had. So go figure that one out. I mean, that, I guess, is as descriptive of the thought process of Pamela Perillo, or the lack thereof.
Pamela seals her and James's fates. Both are convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death.
Pam is sentenced to the same sentence she gave the two Bobs, death.
It is said that water seeks its own level, and that's exactly what happened here. When Pamela met James, there was going to be hell to pay.
But the two killers' futures will be very different. James Brittle is executed by lethal injection in 1995. Pamela gets a reprieve. Her sentence is commuted to life in Gatesville Prison in Texas. For some, no sentence is too harsh for a woman capable of such callous murders.
Someone who had such a callous disregard for human life, that they would do such a thing, what's the likelihood they'll do it again?
Pam needs to remain in prison forever.
She committed an act of evil when she didn't have to. That can never be excused.
These deadly women found companionship in violence. Suzanne Carson's delusions left 3 people dead. Chelsea O'Mahony thought brutality was group fun. And Pamela Perillo enjoyed hands-on murder. All 3 women developed a taste for violence. Their victims merely pawns in their game of hunting humans.